Gruesome Magazine.
Hi, I'm your host, Doc Rodden, and this is Gruesome Magazine, where we review the very latest in streaming and video on-demand horror movies. This week, each week, my co-host, Jeff Mohr, Crystal Cleveland, Chris Mohr, and myself. We'll take a look at various spooky, scary, gory genre films. We edit nothing. Tonight, we are reviewing Feed Me. Feed Me. We're all thinking it. All right, from XYZ Films. Let's get into. Let me introduce the rest of the crew here. Let me just shut up. Jeff Mohr, how you doing, sir?
I don't eat milk.
No, you don't, because you drink it.
Okay, cool.
I'm sorry. I'm doing good. I've had a brain lock for a second there. What are you doing?
Also joining this week is Crystal Cleveland, the Living Dead Girl. How you doing?
Oh, my camera. It's all like fuzzy. I'm good. I'm good. That's
okay.
poop, but okay. My lipstick looks sparkly, so that's good. Thank you.
You're fabulous.
Thank you, Jeff. Thank you.
Also joining us is award-winning filmmaker.
Oh,
Christopher G.
Sorry. Sorry.
I hate you. That's so good.
Right.
Lunch.
I'm doing good. I hope you guys are doing good today.
Oh, yes.
Oh my God.
I'm
Excellent.
Cannibal Ted Lasso.
Oh no. All right. Yeah, we're reviewing Feed Me. What we're going to do is give you our first impressions. Our first impressions will be spoiler free. And then we're going to dive into a discussion, and there will be quite a few.
I don't think you can review this movie without some spoilers. Holy moly.
Spoilers, right. And then we'll wrap things up with our score 1 to 5 and our favorite scene. That's going to be fun, folks. Oh my gosh. All right. But we hope you enjoy not only this review, but many others that we have on the site. And we hope you hit the like, subscribe, share with a friend button. It'll help us reach our goal of 5,000 subscribers. And only you can help us do it. They won't let us do it. Only you can help us do it. So please.
Do it.
There you go. Let's take a look at the card. Feed Me. Available in theater, just one, in theaters and on demand beginning October 6th. Oh, good God. 14th. No, it's not 14th. It must be 2022. I feel like I've got the wrong date in there. But, go figure. Synopsis. Following the death of his wife, a broken man spirals into an abyss of night tremors and depression and finds himself in the home of deranged cannibal who convinces him to take his own life in the most horrific way imaginable. Written and directed by Adam Leader and Richard Oakes. The cast includes Neal Ward, Christopher Mulvin, Hannah Al Rashid, Samantha Loxley, Anton Sharp, and Nadia Lamin. Let's get into it. Jeff, sir, you're up first. What was your first impression of Feed Me?
Well, you won't have to die in hell alone because I like this a lot.
Yeah.
I just really enjoyed this quirky character. And people are going to say that he reminds them of somebody, but I've never seen the Somebody show.
So yeah, me neither.
Didn't remind me of that. It was all new for me. Yeah, and this I think is a definite step up for the writer directors from Host, which we reviewed a couple years ago, which we were a little bit lukewarm on it, although I might want to go visit that. I think I got a better idea of the flavor of what these creators like to do. So I like it. It had for me, it just had a really weird combination of humor and pathos and ridiculousness and gruesomeness and the most disgusting house I think I've ever seen. And set design, excellent. Anyway, I think maybe I just like it. It makes no sense. Makes absolutely no sense. And we'll talk a little bit more about that later. But I just was fascinated by this character and, the way other people they had him reacting to him.
Yes. Crystal, what was your first impression of Feed Me?
Well, I don't know if you know who this movie is based on, but it is based on a guy who ate another dude who actually said, "Yes, I want you to chop off my penis and I want you to eat me." And this happened in real life. Now, it was in Germany, I think, and the dude is in jail. He's totally in jail. So, but the concept is shocking. This movie is also shocking. And to be completely honest with you, I watched this movie and I had to sit back and I was like, I don't know how I feel about this movie. And I sat there and I determined that I did like it. I do like this movie. Yeah, it took me a bit because I was watching it and I was like, what the actual what? Yeah. But the lead character clearly has some dissociative identity disorder. That's why he has an accent sometimes. That's why okay. He doesn't sometimes. I don't want to give anything away. We're not spoiling. But he has some that helps understand the whole thing. And honestly, I have some theories as to some of the other stuff, but it's very gritty. It's very dirty. It's got a little torture porny in it too. Yeah. It's a little bit of an angry film. And it's definitely not for everyone. This is definitely one of those movies that I would not recommend to everyone because they're not going to like it. But yeah, I found it entertaining. Now I know some people are going to tell you this has some funny parts. I found nothing funny. Even the jokes were not funny to me. It was not funny. Okay, I didn't think any of it was funny. I found it all to be odd and weird and out of place and not in a good way. So just so you know, I didn't find anything funny with it. But that's okay. I was still entertained. And I did, like I said, overall, yeah, I did like it.
Yeah, there were moments that got me cackling. It was mostly toward the end, but we'll get to it. Christopher G. Mohr, sir, what was your first impression of Feed Me?
I didn't like this.
No, short and sweet.
It's got a mixture of tones like a broken printer cartridge. It can't figure out what lane it wants to stick in, and it doesn't do any of that spectacularly good in either way. It's not good drama. It's not good. Definitely not. I didn't found nothing to be humorous. This is like a character from In Living Color walked into like a Lifetime movie. It's just. The main guy was not good portraying his part when it came to the darkness of the death of his wife and stuff. I just found it to be that was more humorous than the actual humorous character who just seemed like like Jim Carrey might have played it. It did feel like he was doing an impersonation of Jason Sudeikis, or as I call him, Jason Sudeikis, because that character was so overtly ridiculous. It just pulled me out of the movie every time. And the only time that it sort of gained any kind of like traction was when he kind of dropped it a little bit towards the end. But overall, the story is stupid. Yeah, it's loosely based on the German story, but the guy who directed Reanimator did a better job. They actually did a play based on it. It was probably more humorous than any ounce of this movie. This movie is a mess. It can't figure out what it wants to do. It thinks it's trying to be funny, and I'm glad that you found some humor in it, Doc. But I'd found nothing to be humorous. This was a slog to get through. The characters are stupid. The police are stupid. The production design in the house is good, but yeah, like I'm sorry. It just didn't seem. It didn't seem funny to me. It seemed just overtly staged. This felt like something that was like an off Broadway thing that probably closed within the first day. This is not good. This is not good. And the when it gets to like the torture parts, it's hard to watch. It's very torture porny, like Terrifier level, I would say. But yeah, I did not enjoy this movie. I'm kind of gobsmacked as to why they thought this was a good story to tell and the way they told it. I don't want to be fed by any thing involving this. This made me not hungry.
No, I don't think it was
for
meant
watching.
to make you angry.
No, I'm just saying not hungry and watching anything cinematic for a little bit, because this is just, I can't believe people paid money to make this.
Oh man, I have a 100% opposite reaction to this. I thought this was, I really loved this one. I thought the two lead characters were so interesting and so bizarre. And to me, it's like, what if Greasy Spangler wanted to eat
Greasy
people?
Strangler.
You know, right?
Yeah.
It's like, this would be a great, but the Greasy Strangler is, kind of off, kilter as well. To me, it was just so absurd. And I was laughing at the police when they'd come in and they ate this thing. Oh, this is great. And I forget what they said. It was
that's not veal. That's something veal.
Yeah,
I don't
like,
eat meat.
That's Michelin Guide veal.
Yeah. So I mean, I was when there's another point where cops come in, sort of, and that had me. I was like, his whole, anytime he was trying to hang out with a girl, I was having a ball with this. This guy was totally Ted Lasso, absurd, wanting to eat people. And it's just the whole thing, the guy was having, I don't know. I bought into it. I thought it was great. I liked the satire of it. I liked okay. I'll tell you what really won me over early on was the cinematography and the set design, because it's really wonderfully lit. And the house he has is so disgusting.
Yes.
It's just so literally disgusting.
I know, it's so gross.
And it was just the house.
It stinks.
Oh my God, the house was a character in and of itself, and I was just all over it. Yeah. Well, I'm going to shut up because I'm going to give you a lot of love for this film.
Yeah, I'm with you. I did think it was funny. I laughed at a lot of it, but I also thought there was a lot of, you talk about torture porn. We're in spoilers now, so
yes, we are.
He's Lionel Flack is eating Jed at Jed's request, sort of.
Well, he signs a contract.
Surely Jed doesn't quite know what he's getting into. But anyway, I love this character. I loved it.
Which one?
Lionel Flack.
Lionel Flack. Okay.
Well, everybody is rotating around him. How did I buy that the Alex female character would have ever been attracted to somebody like that? No, but I still thought it was interesting, and where it went from there and how it played out. There was some, I thought, I'm labeling this. Well, I get to go first anyway, but I loved the great misdirection with the music, because twice in a row when the cops were in there, the woman cop goes back to the bathroom, and Jed's in the bathtub right behind her, and you can see him in the corner of a mirror, and she's looking in the mirror, and the music crescendos right up to it, and then she goes, you're thinking you see it, and then I fell for it a second time as she walks out, and that's when the other guy is saying, "You got to taste this veal." And she takes a bite. She goes, "Wait a minute, that's not veal." And the music does the exact same thing.
Yep.
And crescendos up, and then she goes, "That's not veal. That's Michelin grade veal or Michelin 4-star veal or something like that." I don't know. I loved all the double stuff. Like, he's got this big nude picture of his mother blown up in the living room.
Multiple ones.
I'm into.
I was so like. That's the worst edifice ever.
Eroticism. and his nude mother has the champagne flute glass in her hand, which brings up later on when the cops come in and he's trying to cover up all the blood by painting on the boob on the picture. And then he says, "Well, what is that?" This time it's cubic abstract eroticism.
It's really good.
Abstract eroticism. Anyway, and when he was with the girl, and then they show him walking behind on the lake and the way he was running because he was going to be late. It just, I don't know.
I
thought the character was great. He had those friggin' sideburns all the way down to his.
He did. His timing. I enjoyed the timing where he would like not respond right away and then give an answer, like he was trying to figure something out or whatever, or just slow. And then a lot of times you just go, it's just, I don't know. But Christopher, you're not getting any of this though, are you?
You're speaking another language.
No.
This felt like SNL did a sketch where Ted Lasso made him like a serial killer cannibal, and they had to cut it because it wasn't good enough to show. Okay. Yeah, I didn't find any of it to be funny. It just felt like a character out of place. I think if they leaned into the humor, if it was just all of it was just like Jim Carrey-ish, it might have been more interesting. But I just found his character to be just so like an alien in this universe. It didn't, and I didn't find any of the humor funny at all. It was very cringy, very uncomfortable, not funny at all. And then when it got to the drama stuff, I didn't feel like there was any connection between that guy and his ex-wife. And I don't know how many times we have to have some little nightmare of her at a table and they're they're upside down from Stranger Things and all that stuff. Yeah, all this stuff it's just a mess.
The whole heart thing.
None of it connected.
Oh my God.
None of it connected for me. I just found it to be just. It was a waste of celluloid.
Oh man, I totally felt for him because his last memory of her is telling her to that he's kind of over her being so pitiful, right? I'm pitiful. It's full of pity. She's not pitiful, but she's full.
She's broken and she won't take any help.
I'll say that
she's kind of fed up with it, and then she dies.
I will say that if one thing that if just to say something positive, I will like when he went on the date with the girl. I kind of like that scene. There's a really cool Hitchcock zoom they use in that scene, they make it bump, and because it goes like this and it bumps,
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
and I've never seen the use of that to where you because a lot of times you use it your internal thought process to make it like you're either like something weird is happening, but when they did that, you see this kind of click in his head, where he goes all homicidal.
Yeah, wasn't there like a reverse Hitchcock zoom, kind of?
Yeah, but I loved how that, and then the stuff that happened right after when he just like clicked. I like that whole. That's probably the spoiler, but that's kind of like my part that I enjoyed the most in the movie was that. And if it'd been more like that, I probably would have liked it more. But overall, I didn't find it was like a crappy Mr. Bean at times, and I'd rather go watch Mr. Bean being a homicidal maniac than this guy. This guy just felt like he was trying to be something that I personally was not entertained by 1 ounce of the what was considered humor.
I just want to see a sequel with him going up against the Greasy Strangler. That's all I want to see. Crystal, say something. You're hanging out here. Say what do you got?
I feel like everyone. I mean, I don't think that Christopher's comments are invalid. I mean, he has the right to feel that way. It was very compelling for me. Like I said, when I finished this movie, I didn't honestly know how I felt, and all I kept thinking was, it seemed like he was a basically normal dude, even though he's obviously not normal at all. Okay, but then it seems like he slowly goes on this descent. Now, I kind of wish that through the course of this, it would have been like the meat that he was eating is like kind of tainting him. I think that's kind of a cool concept if they would go with that. Like he's so sad and depressed. I wish it would have kind of transferred because, they did talk about how, these tribes, they transfer this, blah, blah, blah. I think that would have been cool. But really, when you see the head in his refrigerator, this dude is completely unbalanced. And he briefly mentions like there was someone else that tried to do this or something. Clearly he has mommy issues. As I started like thinking about it and really exploring it, I started to like it more. It's absurd, and it's meant to be absurd. And it's also meant to be horrifying, and it is. And I was like, no, it just kept getting better in my mind. Like I will probably watch it again and see more and understand more. But I get it, Christopher. But I really did. I really did enjoy it. It was weird. It was just, and when I have to agree with Christopher. Like when he was on the date, and then he like kind of snapped there. I was like, that was
And
pretty
they
amazing.
follow that up really well too.
That was
with
pretty
the-
amazing.
and
Yeah.
the
I mean,
street, the street was really what he does in the street, which is
yeah. I mean, I don't know. I just something about him just being that big of a goofball on it, and I mean, I kind of saw what they were trying to go for. Because there's moments where he would like, you could tell inside he was like emotional, and he'd like there'd be times when he'd tear up in these big tirades and stuff that I found kind of interesting. But it just for me it didn't click at all. It kept pulling me out of the because this felt like a character that walked like Pee-wee's Big Adventure. You know, it's like when he's going to the different sets. It felt like a character that I know he created a character that was more of a character,
because it was a character, because that's obviously he didn't have an accent. He wasn't American. That's how you know. Like when he was normal, his normal self, he's not an American. He pretended to be an American. He pretended to be Ted Lasso.
Yeah, but
that's what his whole thing was. You know,
yeah,
he
I understand that, but maybe they should have maybe should have showed something that inspired that, but it just felt like a big outlandish character. It just felt like somebody like I'm going to do a big character, and
I think
didn't work for me.
Jeff, you before we wrap up,
helped.
you had something to say before I wrangled it out from under you?
Yeah, I don't know. Well, he had that line too. I like, you are what you eat, Jed, and if you are what you eat, then why would you be
I like
eat anything other than humans?
Mm-hmm. Why wouldn't you want to be human?
So I don't know. I enjoyed him. I thought it was funny, quirky, ridiculous, and I watched it twice too, and I liked it better the second time.
Nice.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right.
I get it, Christopher.
Right.
Although I will say I did like the line, "You're going to be one crispy piece of shit." I kind of like that line a little bit.
Yeah.
That's the only line that I found any kind of humor in.
All right, let's go ahead and wrap this up. Let's give our score 1 to 5. I think we know where they're at. And then, what is your favorite scene? Jeff, you're first.
All right. Well, I already said my favorite scene. I love that shot with the woman cop and the music and the
in the bathroom.
You know,
all right.
Yeah, the fake tension in it, and then she does something entirely different. I don't know why, and I love that they got me to fall for it a second time right after that. I'm going to give this a 4.
Nice.
So there.
There you go. So there.
There you go.
Crystal, your score 1 to 5. Your favorite scene?
Okay, I'm gonna give it a 3.75. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I almost want to give it a 4 as well, but I need to watch it again. I'm just not sure. I'm not sure. I'm still a little confused. Obviously, my favorite scene is the stabbing. It's wonderful.
Which one?
Like what? Oh yeah. Of the date.
The date. Okay. Yes.
I was like, no, is he? Oh, girl, run! Yeah, that was
that
it.
whole walk down that long ass hallway was just so tense. Yeah,
stressful.
Yeah. Perfect.
And it informs the whole room of lamps too.
Oh my God! Yes, the whole lamp thing. Oh my God!
Well, yes.
That killed me. Oh my God!
The tour, he goes. He's walking down the hallway. He goes, well, there's the bathroom, and then there's that, and then he keeps on walking.
Christopher, for somebody who says it wasn't funny, you keep bringing up the funniest bits. Anyway, go ahead and give us.
It wasn't funny to me.
It was hilarious.
It just informed the story.
Okay. Fairly okay. Give us your score.
It was Chekhov's lamp. 2.25.
Oh well, that's better than I
didn't like it, but it's shot competently. Favorite scene is I could probably pick the whole stabbing scene, but I'm going to say that Hitchcock zoom, the use of the Hitchcock zoom, which was visually really cool. And I hadn't seen it used in that way before.
It had punch. It
had punch because you're a lot of times it does inform your mental stability or instability, and so for that moment it worked really well. I was like, oh, that's really cool. So that's the main shot that really stood out for me.
Yeah. Then when he takes off the wig, I was like, the whole film was like, man, that is the shittiest wig. And I'm like,
it was not.
And then he pulls it off, and I thought it was the greatest thing ever. Okay, another thing. That's another chuckle. I thought that was so great. All right, I love this film. I want to give it. I'm gonna give it 4.5.
Oh.
I'm gonna give it 4.5.
Wow.
This is going to.
Wow.
It's going to be. Yes.
Ridiculous.
I love this film.
So ridiculous.
There are so many scenes I could pick as my favorite scene. I mean, like when I'm going to mention a few in passing, but I'm really going to get into the one that I love. But like when he stands in front of his mother's painting after he eats.
Oh no! Yeah.
Oh my God! I was like,
that's so creepy.
No, don't do that. That's weird. No! What are you doing? No. and then when he comes in as two versions of himself, and he's playing opposite the cop. Oh my God! That had me rolling.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, what is going on? And I thought the way they handled that was so great. But my favorite scene, and it really, I mean, I actually gasped out loud. Was the death scene with the knife and the second stabbing, if you will, Crystal.
Mm-hmm.
The head against the table, the knife in the eye. And I was like, holy shit. I was like, that was so sudden, so fast. And it was so like bang. I was like, that's perfect. That's perfect.
Oh, that was Chekhov's table.
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
I totally forgot. It totally Chekhoved me. I totally had forgotten about it. And it just, I was like, oh my God, that was so brilliant. And I loved the whole thing. I really enjoyed this film.
Throwaway lines too that actually meant something. When I forget who he was talking to. I think he was talking to Jed, something about his wife, and he said, "Oh, she lost her head and went cold on me."
That's funny. That is funny. I actually thought that it could have gone further with the gore. I mean, it goes pretty far.
It could have, yeah.
But it was only like what, 3 times?
The arm was the big thing.
Didn't go full boxing Helena.
No, it didn't go full. It was close.
Yeah.
It was close.
3 out of 4.
3 out of 4.
You never go boxing Helena.
I liked right off the bat when he clips out the finger, puts the iron on it.
Oh yeah.
Oh, when he does it
cauterize. Yeah.
Oh man, I will confess, my son came over and he watched it with me.
Mm-hmm.
And he absolutely loved it too. So part of the experience was watching with him because I didn't know what he would think of it, but he loved. And he was like, that iron scene with the arm. He goes, "Would that actually work?"
Yeah, it would work. That would work.
It was, I don't know if I could.
Of course, it would work. Anything that you have that's like heated, it will help cauterize the wound for sure.
But he loved it too. So
it's such an antiseptic environment too. You know?
I know it's so okay. That's the biggest thing with this movie. I mean, okay, so you agreed to be eaten by this dude, fine, whatever. The moment that you step foot in that nasty pad, is that really where you want to spend your final moments? Really?
He wasn't in his right mind then.
I got to the point where I was looking at the wall, going, "Is this just wallpaper design?"
I know. I was like, "What is that on the wall? What is that on the wall?" And then, he goes, "I thought it would be faster." Like,
yeah.
Okay. Christopher does not see anything.
He's like, "Can we just stop with this movie, please?
You're making me relive everything. I don't want to do that." All right, let's get out of here. Check out Feed Me. It's from XYZ Films, and let us know what you think down below in the comments. Crystal, Christopher, and Jeff, thank you for joining me. This was a lot of fun, or at least I had a lot of fun. Sorry, Chris.
I had a lot of fun.
You're welcome.
They all can't be winners, at least not for me. But that's what it is.
All right, let's say goodnight.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night, everybody.
Gruesome Magazine.